guys, welcome to my first Q&A. I don't know what's been going on, but in the last few weeks you guys have been sending me tons of questions asking me about, everything from stepmom life to, questions about my husband and I's relationship to the paint colors on my walls. So I thought it would be fun to switch things up this week and do a little Q&A. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so we're gonna dive into the first question. I have a question that I've been wanting to ask you for a while now. In all your content, you refer to yourself as the second wife, and that comes first. I know that's the reality, and your relationship with your husband does come first, but I was wondering if it took you a while to get used to the cold, hard truth of referring to yourself as the second wife. If so, what are the things that helped you with this? Okay, yeah, that is a good question. In my content and on my blog and my website, I do refer to myself as the second wife. And I may come across being pretty confident when I say that, but there definitely was a period of time where I wasn't so confident being the second wife or, not experiencing the firsts with my husband. He had experienced, having a child before me. He had walked down the aisle with someone else before. The house that we live in right now, he bought with his ex-wife. So those were definitely things that bothered me, even though in my head I knew that was what I had signed up for. It still hurt sometimes when I just felt like I wasn't getting to experience those firsts with him. I'll be really honest, there were periods of time where I, flat out started crying about this kind of stuff. Before my daughter was born, I sat on those stairs behind us and cried to my husband because he knew what to expect, with the whole childbirth process, and I had no idea. Like I said, before we got married, I had kind of a breakdown because I didn't know if this was going to be as special for him because he's done it all before. But he reassured me that just because he had done these things before didn't mean they're any less special with me. And I knew that because, we all have history. We all have a past. The thing is that now I don't even think about it. I don't think about the fact that I'm his second wife other than when I write it in my blog or, it doesn't cause me any stress and anxiety. It doesn't hurt my feelings anymore because we've created our own memories. We've been together now for, almost 5 years. So we have a history, we have memories, we've created our own traditions. I guess my advice for you on that one is just, let time do its thing. It really is a situation where time heals. And as you guys create your own memories and traditions and, come up with your own silly little things in your own history, you won't think about that anymore. And it will just be a part of his past and will no longer affect your future. So yeah, hopefully that helps you with that. Are you guys planning on having another baby? Well, yeah, and when I got this question in my inbox, I did kind of struggle with how I was going to answer it because, yeah, I do really want another baby and we are planning on having another baby if that's possible. We have been trying and it has proven to be just a little more difficult than I had anticipated and, a lot more difficult than it was when we got pregnant with Reese. But yes, we are trying for another child. Hopefully, that happens for us. If it doesn't, we're blessed. I'm blessed with 3 great stepchildren and, a beautiful daughter, and we have, a lot of, joy in our lives from kids. Just gonna back that truck up for a second because people might think, why would she say that online? Why would she say that to the internet? But you know what? Even though I'm not saying I'm having troubles with fertility or anything, I don't know what's going on. It's just harder than I thought it was going to be. But I know by saying that, if I'm experiencing it, there's other people who are experiencing it too. So that's why I'm saying that out loud. That's why I'm being honest about what's going on for us in terms of the baby department. Totally have baby fever, but I think we all need to recognize that it's just sometimes not as easy as saying, I think I'm gonna have a baby. Right? It can be a huge struggle for a lot of women. So hopefully by me saying that out loud, someone who may be having a trickier time than they thought getting pregnant for the second time or the first time can take comfort in the fact that they are definitely not alone in that. All right, next question. What does your husband think about your blog? Well, my husband is probably, it surprises me, but he's probably my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. He comes home all the time with ideas of things that I can write about, or we'll be out doing something and he'll go, don't you think we should put this on your blog? So he's very, very supportive about the whole thing. All right, next question. What do your stepkids call you? And what do you think about stepkids calling their stepmom mom? Okay, so this is a hot topic in the stepmom world. My stepkids call me Jamie. Well, at least to my face. I don't know what they call me behind my back, but to my face they call me Jamie. What do I think about stepchildren calling their stepmom mom? Well, you know what? I think that what works for one family does not necessarily work for another family. So there are definitely situations where that's the right thing for everyone involved, right? And as long as everyone's comfortable with it and, everyone's respecting each other, then yeah, there's definitely situations where that works for families. Personally, I just feel like mom is a very special word and a very special relationship, no matter what the dynamics of that are. And as a mom myself, I would never want my daughter calling another woman mom. It just wouldn't sit right with me. And that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. Even if my stepchildren did want to call me mom, which they never would, that's just not kind of how things are around here. I don't think I would be okay with that, because I, want to make sure that that's that special word that's saved for their own mom. So yeah, I might lose some followers for my opinion on that question. I know, it's definitely a hot topic. There's definitely no one size fits all approach for step families and this kind of thing. So that's my take on that. Next question. I'm in a transition. I went from single to a relationship that his kids were not a part of for about 1.5 years due to a high conflict situation. Now his custody is changing to a minimum of 50-50, and we are transitioning to me being around a lot more. Any advice and help to aid the transition, not only for the kiddos, but for me, would be great. I recently told a friend that I feel like I'm watching my freedom jump off the cliff. I'm excited to make this change, but man, it's scary. Yeah, that's a lot like me. I went from, being on my own to all of a sudden being a stepmom of 3 kids. And I would say my advice for that is, when it comes to the kids, don't go in guns a-blazing. Don't go in trying to change things or overstep or take on the role of the mom in the house. Just, take your cues from the kids, take baby steps, and know that, your partner is totally okay handling some things on his own. I think as women, we are just like natural caregivers, right? So we like to jump in and just kind of be mama bear and take care of the things that the moms would typically do in the house. And, that can be a mistake for so many different reasons. So, just, go in with ease, and, the kids really will tell you how much they want you to be involved. You'll be able to pick up on their cues and respect that and understand that as much as you're going through a transition, they're going through a transition too. When it comes to you, just make sure you don't just give up on everything that you love to do. Sometimes, like I said, we come in and we're guns a-blazing, we're like, diving headfirst into this whole stepmom parenting thing, and we stop doing the things that we love to do. And I preach and preach and preach that if you're not taking care of yourself, you are not going to thrive in this whole stepmom role, because you need to make sure that your cup is full. You absolutely need to make sure that you're doing things for you. I'll tell you a little story. Back when my husband, this is probably a couple years ago, my husband and I were in a bit of an argument, and I said to him, I gave up everything for you people. And I went on and said, I used to do yoga every night. I used to go to Chapters and read books and go, hang out in coffee shops. And those were the things that I just loved to do. And I feel like I don't get to do them anymore. And he was like, Jamie, no one asked you to stop doing those things. You just stopped doing them. So I think we sometimes, as women, have the assumption that we need to go do all of these mom jobs, like I just said, but you don't have to. So make sure you're still doing the things that you love to do and the things that make you tick, because you'll be a way better stepmom for it, I promise you. And you know what? It's awesome to let your partner have some alone time with the kids. They really, really need that. You don't need to be around all the time. All right, next question. Hopefully that helps you. I recently found out that I'm pregnant. My husband and I are very excited. However, I'm a little nervous about telling the kids. We are still dealing with some high conflict issues with his ex-wife, and she will say things to the kids about us having a baby and forgetting about them, or no longer wanting them, etc. So here are a few questions that I have that maybe some women who are also planning on having children with their significant other might have as well. So how do we reassure the kids, and any ideas how to tell the kids so that this is a positive situation? And how can we de-escalate the situation so that high conflict does not return with his ex-wife. You know, I think as stepmoms, we tend to overthink things, right? And we tend to, like situations like this, we tend to put a lot more thought into it than we really need to. And that means that we're caring and that we want everything to go well. So it's a really good thing, but I think we can kind of drive ourselves nuts doing so. So my advice in this situation is don't overthink it. Just involve the kids as you would if they were your own. So, you know, tell them how excited you guys are about the kids and talk to them about how, you know, they're going to be involved in the baby's life, you know, involve them in, you know, shopping for the baby, putting the crib together, picking out names, you know, just as much as you would involve them in, if they were your own children, involve them and make it exciting, make it a happy thing so that there's not anxiety around. Talk to the kids about all the things you guys are all gonna do together as a family and really reinforce the fact that this is not you starting a new family, this is you guys adding to the family that you have. And when it comes to jealousy, we have to remember that having older children be jealous of a new baby, that's just not something that happens in step-family situations. That happens in normal families too, right? There's so many situations where, you know, the baby comes home and the toddler regresses or is like doing attention-seeking behaviors, all those kind of things. That's not just for step families, right? It's normal behavior. So you really just need to reassure the other kids, give them the, you know, quality time that they still need with their dad and with you, and include them in the family. And honestly, I think it'll all work out. So don't stress yourself out about it. In terms of dealing with a high conflict situation from your husband's ex-wife, you know, that's something that you just cannot control. You cannot control how someone else acts or how someone else perceives things or what someone else is saying about your family and your situation. You know, obviously document it. I know that's something that stepmoms always hear. You need to document things that are going on just because you never know if things go sour, you might end up needing that information. But you just need to remember, you don't need to attend every argument that you're invited to. Sometimes silence is the best last word. You know, just ignore, don't engage, and hopefully things will settle down. Be empathetic, you know, put up your boundaries and stick to them, and just only respond to things that you need to respond to for the sake of the kids. And I think that everything will probably, you know, settle down once everyone gets used to the new situation. And congratulations, by the way. That's awesome. New babies are so fun. All right, so the next question is, what's the paint color in your kitchen? It's Benjamin Moore. It's a Riviera pewter of some sort. So yeah, that's the paint color in my kitchen. It's a random question for sure. And yeah, that is the last of the questions, guys. So thank you so much for everyone who submitted them. There are still a bunch of questions in my inbox that I plan on answering in an upcoming video, but obviously we all don't have all day today. So I thought I would just pick a few. So if you happen to have any questions that you want me to answer, feel free to send me an email or a comment below, and I will maybe answer them in the next video. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. I will see you in the next video.